Good.
So before this series started, you said it might take a couple games to kind of figure out what style of hockey you need to play. What have you learned through the first 2 games of this series, and do you feel like you have a grasp on what it takes to win?
Yeah, I said that, having said that, I think we both had a really good handle on each other. I think we played each other enough. I've seen enough of this team. Jared's been the coach forever here, even back to when I was in San Jose. I think as advertised, great offensive team, a lot of game-breaking players at different positions, great special teams. So, I think pretty much what we've seen through the first 2 games is exactly that. And when we've been able to limit, those people and those situations, I think we give ourselves an opportunity to have success. And when we don't, when we were playing with the lead and backed off a little bit, when we took some penalties and let their power play change the momentum of the game, then it wasn't good. So that's on us to make sure going forward we learn those lessons.
Hey, Pete.
Hey, Mike.
Any line changes?
No, same lineup.
And then, is there a difference on the road for deployment? You've been, pushing things around quite a bit in the playoffs. Does the road present any other opportunities or issues that could make you want to move guys around?
Yeah. I don't think anything to move guys around. I mean, you obviously lose that ability to have last line change, and they get that ability. So, I think you've got to be deep enough that you can trust people out there to get the job done regardless of what the situation is. And honestly, even at home, with the icing rule that you can't change on an icing, the other team gets those situations every once in a while anyway. So you don't get this far unless you're comfortable on the road, and we've been good on the road in those situations.
Guys.
Hey, Pierre.
Thinking, hey, Pete, specifically, obviously Chris Tanev and his deployment.
Mm-hmm.
You're on the road now, and I know in the past coaches have, had regrets about on the road, especially sometimes losing the rhythm of what they truly wanted to do. So what's the balance there?
Yeah, I've never been a big believer in chasing matchups. We rely on moving around. All our systems rely on moving around. The ice is a 5-man unit. Forechecking is a 5-man unit. Playing in the neutral zone, breaking out. You start pulling guys off the ice mid-shift in order to chase matchups. You lose that 5-man ability because of the line changes. I think we'll try and get the matchups that we're looking for. And if it doesn't happen, then, whoever ends up out there has to get the job done.
On one hand, these 2 games, there was a 3-0 lead and a 4-0 lead, and we saw Colorado come back in one, nearly do it in a second one. I'm sure that might alarm you or alert you a little bit, but on the other hand, you had a 3-0 and 4-0 lead in these games. How do you kind of balance those two?
Yeah. No, you're exactly right. I think the big positive is we were able to build 3 and 4-0 leads against a very good team, and there's obviously some learning lessons in how to manage those situations. I think the 2 games were different too, and the 2 leads were different. I think the 3-0 lead, probably wasn't as real as the number said. The 4-0 lead, I thought we played really, really well in game 2. So, sometimes you get what you deserve too. I thought we deserved to win game 2. We did. Game 1, I thought, the 3-0 lead was maybe a little bit of fool's gold, and, they ended up coming back on us. So we'll have to, I'm excited about putting our great road game up against the best home team in the league.
Hey, Pete, you've coached more than 120 playoff games. With your process, is it one of those things where you know what you want to do at all times, or is it always sort of fluid because every series, every player is different? And also, how do you manage it knowing that you've seen damn near everything?
Yeah. I'm old, right? I'm old. Experienced. Every playoff is different. I think as a coach, you try and, the foundation of your team, though, you can't change that at this time of year. I think you build that foundation all year, and then as the series goes on, depending on the team, you tweak it. I mean, Colorado presents different challenges than Vegas did. Vegas did some things really well. You know, Colorado does some things really well. They both have different areas you think you can expose. So, you know, I think the key is identifying that prior to the series starts and working on taking advantage of both those things, you know, as much as possible. And Jared's doing the same thing on his end.
Maybe you guys have added a bunch to the training conditioning staff this year. One, how much of an impact does that have? And two, could it be something that helps you as you go into altitude for the next 2 games?
Yeah, we did. We added. Jim did a great job, I thought, in the off season, really upping the game of our off ice group there, particularly strength and conditioning and also in the analytics end of the medical and strength and conditioning. So I thought those guys have been great. You know, I think it's a direct result of our man games loss this year. You know, we were really good as far as injuries went. I think that's a big piece of that. So those guys deserve big credit for that.
In this, we always talk about altitude. I don't know if they have any secrets or anything like that.
Yeah. I don't think there's any secrets. I think it's real though. I mean, you know, you're playing in altitude, and you hear the veteran guys on the team talking about shortening your shift length and, you know, not getting stuck out there, you know, in these situations, because that is real.
Coach, you mentioned Jared Bednar's tenure here, and, you know, having coached against him a bunch. He's mentioned the respect he has for you. How fun is that for you as a coach to kind of be in a chess match with a coach like that? Yeah,
that's why we do this. You know, it's the best time of year. I absolutely love the playoffs. You know, you really coach all year for this. It's the only time all year you really get to concentrate on one team and their intricacies over a 7-game series. In the regular season, we don't get to do that. So, you know, that's my favorite part of coaching. And you know, we've got some great coaches left coaching if you look around the teams that are still standing here. So it's a great challenge.
Changing that, is that important at a time like this when you're going to play in altitude for the next 2 years? Who knows?
I don't know, but I think throughout the whole year, I think it's been super important this year. Not necessarily right now, but I just think the whole season, the whole regular season and playoffs, having a new voice, it's been great for us.
What difference does it make? Is it just in how you look at your diet, or how you look at your day, or sleep, or all of it?
I think everything. I think the management and organization really invested a lot of resources into creating that. So, I mean, throughout the whole year,
it's a big deal.
We've all been really great. You guys have been taken care of really well. So it's important now, especially in the playoffs with a game every other day, and just that. Just a long grind of the regular season.
On the outside, we're going to make a big deal about the fact that you guys are the best road team, they're the best home team. Do you feel that as you come in here that it is a great challenge?
Yeah, I think everything gets wiped in the playoffs. Obviously in the regular season we were the best road team and they're the best home team, but you're playing against 20, 30, 31 other teams at home, right? We're playing 31 other teams on the road. So it's all different. It's a clean slate, and it doesn't matter where you're playing in the playoffs. You have to get results, and we're going to try to get that.
What did you see from Rope last game, and how good was it to see it?
Yeah, definitely. It was I don't say a relief, but I'm sure he's got a lot of emotion coming out of that. So I'm grateful that he's was able to get that done. So I know he's a guy who plays with a lot of confidence, and when he gets it, he just rolls with it. So you saw it last year in the playoffs, and hopefully it's started something even better.
We talked about it before because you've gone through the same thing. How much different does it you just stop thinking maybe? Is that you get it out of your brain, whatever negativity might be in there when you're in a slump?
Yeah, it's not easy. Definitely being a offensive guy, you want to put up numbers, and obviously a lot of people turn their eyes if you're losing to the offensive guys. So But I mean, when you're not doing stuff offensively, I mean, you still have to do other things on the other side of the ice, and you've seen Roop doing that, killing penalties, out there 5-on-6, doing all those little things, these zone draws. So, you don't really acknowledge that, but in our organization, we don't have truly offensive guy, like pure offensive. We have to have guys. Everyone has to be able to do both sides.
And especially him. I mean,
He's
he
got
can really feed his offensive game from
Yeah,
his
I mean,
defensive play.
that's exactly right. So I think everyone in this locker room does it both ways. So, I mean, people might not see that outside of this locker room, and it doesn't matter outside this locker room. But he's definitely. I mean, hopefully we'll keep it going for him.
You guys have added the training staff this year. I know it's the first year for you, but how much has that helped, and can it help in a situation where you're coming into altitude? Because it just seems like they've really pushed conditioning, pushed different ways to keep you guys healthy and ready to play.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, it's my first year here, but these guys they're as good as it gets, and they're always looking at new ways to stay on top of things or find that extra edge. And I think we've shown we're a well-conditioned team, and yeah, it for sure helps this time of year.
Do you talk about that coming into altitude like this? I mean, is there a thought that you got to do anything different because you're up here?
Yeah, there's definitely some methods. I mean, just got to hydrate more and stay on top of that stuff. But as far as the game goes, you might, lose your wind a little earlier, so, quicker shifts. But, they're facing the same thing, so it's, it just is what it is.
As a guy who just gets to watch this, I'm very excited because it's a great series. How does it feel to be in it? It's 1-1. You're the best road team in the league. They're the best home team. And there's just a lot going on the line for tonight's game.
Yeah, it's been a great series, an interesting series. Obviously, we got to finish games better, but we've been getting off to great starts, which is a positive. And yeah, we love playing on the road. They love playing at home, so it'll be a good set of games here.
And then what's the philosophy on your guys' line? I know you have to change certain players in and out, but seems like the same philosophy for every shift.
Yeah, we just want to play fast, play hard, try and tilt the ice and try to create something. If not, set up the next line.
How hard is that? Because it seems like you've done it. I don't want to say it's easy, but it seems like you play a lot in the other team's end.
Yeah. I mean, that's the number one thing we want to do. It tires them down, no matter especially if we get a matchup against their top guys at certain points of the game. We want to make them play in their own end, and like I said, even if we don't score every shift, we're trying to set up the next line.
Yeah, back in the day, they'd call you guys a checking line. Now it's more like an energy line. Like that's your job, is to bring energy to the game.
I wouldn't say we're going to run teams out of the rink with our physicality, but we can skate and hang on to pucks and make
Win
plays.
puck battles. Yeah, I think that's been. How do you do that? How do you get in there and is it just something you guys have learned as a group? Do you understand where the other guys are so that you can get the puck and get it to them?
Yeah, somewhat. I mean, every team you play against, there's a different philosophy of where you want to lay pucks and whatnot. But I think it's just skating is the biggest thing. If you're skating, you're gonna win more puck races and create separation off your man. So that's the biggest thing, is just keeping your feet moving.